Joining us now from Blauvelt, New York, north of New York City, is John McLaughlin, who is President Trump's pollster. And we wanted to get his reaction to the narrowing of the polls, which Mr. McLaughlin, to his credit, says is true. I mean, he's not trying to, gin up the numbers in support of his candidate. So is my analysis correct that it's women of color, the primary movers here?
I think it's not just women of color, but it's also Democrats. Because in those polls, there's only been 8 polls in these 8 days that have come out and that are on the Real Clear Politics average. Those are the ones that the media looks at and says, okay, there's some credibility here. There's some little referee there. They still have Donald Trump up 2 points in the average. And for somebody like me who had to sit through the Hillary lock in 2016, where we were always behind in the national polls, the Biden blue wave in 2020, when they had us down like 10, 14 points in 2020, the national polls have us up at 2 points after they've been pronouncing Kamala Harris like this great honeymoon, this unelected. I mean, she was given the nomination in a deal with Joe Biden. She wasn't picked by anybody except the party bosses, in effect. And now the media is saying she's doing great. So you've seen these polls like that Ipsos poll you mentioned, the ABC poll. I mean, they're the ones out of 22 polls after the debate. They had Biden up too. Every other national poll had Biden losing. That's on the Real Clear Politics average. And then they already this week had Harris up too. So they're basically manufacturing numbers like they did in 2016 that Hillary was going to win, 2020 that Biden was going to win, and they try to manipulate the election that way. That Ipsos poll, it comes off their own knowledge panel. There's only 29% Republicans. We were 36.
Okay. Do you think ABC News knows that poll, as you put it, is not reflective of the American electorate? Do you think ABC News is in on the game?
Let me see. ABC News. You know ABC News. Oh, that's George Stephanopoulos.
I know it very well.
This probably was on his show on Sunday morning that George Stephanopoulos was touting these numbers. And, but
here's the question. Do Stephanopoulos and the brood over there at ABC, okay, do they know that Ipsos polls more African Americans out of proportion than the rest of the polls? Do they know that?
Well, they don't. They say they don't show you the numbers. They just say that it's weighted by whatever census data they have. But what I'm getting at is they basically manufactured this coup against Joe Biden. Because why? They're worried about his health? No, they're not worried about his health. They're worried about he was losing in the polls to Donald Trump.
Okay, but who manufactured the coup, in your opinion, John? Who manufactured it?
The media and the Democrat elite bosses, where in effect, Hakeem Jeffries, who wants to be speaker, is worried that he's not going to pick up enough congressional seats. Chuck Schumer, who's worried about losing his Senate majority, is, basically.
But that doesn't have anything to do with Ipsos, though. I know, and we reported that. It was funny because I reported the chieftains, that's my word, of the Democratic Party arrived at the conclusion that you just stated, that Biden couldn't beat Trump. And then on News Nation, when I debate Chris Cuomo every Wednesday, he pushed back and said, oh, no, there are no chieftains of the Democratic Party. And I'm just going, yeah, there are, But look.
But don't you think, Bill, seriously, don't you think the media organs, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC, that are all left aligned, they were working hand in hand.
I just don't know how active they are in knowing. I know they turn away. But to be fair, the Fox News poll has never been friendly to Donald Trump, ever.
Right.
Okay? Right. So do the Fox News executives know that? Is the fix in? I don't know what. I don't trust the Ipsos outfit, all right? Because I know what they do. So I don't even report them most of the time. I don't trust Marist. I don't trust Quinnipiac. A whole bunch of them I don't trust, because I know how they do it, all right? But I don't know whether the executives at these news organizations, ABC, Fox, are in on it. I don't know that.
Well, all I'll say is I miss Roger Ailes. I mean,
Okay.
seriously.
Well, Ailes would not have. He was a very thorough guy in making decisions about what would go on his air when Fox News. Roger was my boss at Fox News. Okay, now going forward, the numbers are tight now. They say it's a honeymoon period. It's true. The media is behind Vice President Harris. That's true. Do you foresee anything changing this that would help Donald Trump?
Well, actually, Donald Trump's going to be the one who changes it, because he and his campaign need to get out the facts about Kamala Harris's record, just like they did Saturday at the Minnesota rally, which probably didn't get that much coverage in the mainstream media. But they were talking about the Minnesota's Freedom Fund, where she was helping them raise money, where they were bailing out.
Yeah, we
criminals.
just ran the spot. We just ran the commercial spot.
That was for the campaign. And in effect, they bailed out people who later went on to commit murder and rape and other things. But look at her record. She cast the deciding vote for the $1.9 trillion that Biden spent that triggered the inflation. She was the deciding vote in the Senate. She's responsible for inflation. She's the border czar. They're saying now she's not the border czar, and she's saying that she'll support Biden's asylum procedures. I mean, she said she was against fracking, and now she's telling us that she's flip-flopping on fracking, that she's going to be for it. I mean, they're trying to remake her image to get her apart.
All that is true, but here's what concerns me as an American, not as a journalist.
Mm-hmm.
We're living in a country now where I'd say at least half of the voters don't pay attention to any of this. Yep. They don't pay attention. They're on their cell phones, they're pursuing whatever they want to pursue, and they hear dribs and drabs of stuff, but they don't know about inflation and who's the problem there, and they don't know any of that. And when you get into skin color and you're going to then derive, 70% of the people of color vote because Kamala Harris is a woman of color, I mean, then you're not even in the policy game anymore. You're not even in it.
Well, that's incumbent on our campaign. Donald Trump and his campaign, it's up to us to tell the voters the facts, inform them that she's way to the left, even to the left of Joe Biden, but also she's incompetent. And when you ask what voters like least about her, she's incompetent, she's unqualified, she's a phony. She's a fool, and a fool cannot be commander-in-chief. So Donald Trump, we knew, was a successful commander-in-chief who got us out of endless wars, who beat ISIS, who stopped the Iranians when they were, trying to take over our Baghdad embassy, et cetera. So you have a successful commander-in-chief that is up against someone who, as of today, while we speak, she says we have to respect the election in Venezuela that Maduro stole from the opposition.
I know. Look, and this is my final question. I don't think the polls are going to matter much in the month of August. Everybody's on vacation. Everybody just wants to get away from it. But after the debate, that's when and Trump has got to show dominance in the debate. If he does that, then I think he's got a very good chance to win, and I think the polls will turn. Last word.
I think you're exactly right. But it's more than just the debate, but it's also waking up America that we cannot have this radical and we cannot have a fool as commander-in-chief.
I don't know if it's possible to wake up America. I really don't know anymore. People don't watch conventional TV anymore. They're not listening to talk radios the way they used to. They're on the internet. The internet is hard to reach these people. I don't know if that's going to be effective, but everyone will pay attention to the debate. That will be the decider, in my opinion. Hey, John, let us know if anything breaks. We're very pleased to have you anytime. Thank you for taking the time tonight.
Okay, thank you.
So Joe Biden writes an op-ed in the Washington Post. He says the Supreme Court's got to change because the progressives don't like the Supreme Court because they're not voting progressive. It's simple as that. So here's what Biden says, quote, and he didn't write this, somebody wrote it for him. I'm calling for a constitutional amendment called No One is Above the Law. It would make clear there is no immunity for crimes a former president committed while in office. I share our founder's belief the president's power is limited, not absolute. A nation of laws, not of kings and dictators. Second, we have had term limits for presidents nearly 75 years. We should have the same for Supreme Court justices. The United States is the only major constitutional democracy that gives lifetime seats to the high court. Term limits would help ensure the court's membership changes with some regularity. That would make timing for court nominations more predictable and less arbitrary. All right, I'm not against the term limit thing. I think it's got to be generous, though. These Supreme Court justices got to be above politics. They're not, but they, the system can't say if you vote this way, you'll keep your job longer. Can't have that. But the first is absurd. You're not going to get a constitutional amendment, Mr. Biden. You don't even know what that entails. And I'm sorry to be disrespectful, but if I asked you right now, what does a constitutional amendment entail, you wouldn't be able to tell me. Okay? And it's not going to happen. All right. By the way, I'm not going to give Biden's daily schedule anymore because he's not going to do anything. He'll go out. He's in Texas today. Sheila Jackson Lee passed, so he's going to do some stuff for her, which is good. But I'm not going to bother anymore. I will update you on Kamala Harris and Donald Trump if they do anything out of the ordinary. I think that's fair. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know, I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. All right, Israel. There's another situation where the press does not report this accurately. So you'll remember that there was a missile attack by Hezbollah on Israel. All right? It was last week. 12 young people, children among them, dead, 30 hurt. Just lobbed a missile onto a playground, boom. All right. The press reported it, had to, worldwide. All right. And now Israel has killed a Hezbollah general, leader, named Fuad Shakur in Beirut. Israel also killed another guy in Iran who is part of Hamas. What was the guy doing in Iran? I think we all know what he was doing there. When the media reports on October 7th, Hamas, July 30th, yesterday, children dead, they just report it. When Israel responds to the attacks, there's always, and some fear, a wider war will develop. Well, why don't some fear a wider war will develop on October 7th when you slaughtered 1,200 people? Or yesterday when you slaughtered 12 children? Isn't the fear of a wider war there? But no. American media didn't say that. They always criticize Israel on the response. What's a wider war? Like, what's Israel supposed to do? Nothing? Allow this? That's media bias. Very buried. You got to be somebody like me who does this for a living to see what they're doing. Awful. Now, as some of you know, our foreign news partner is Daily Chatter. It is changing its name as of tomorrow to Global Post. I kind of like that better. It's got a little more heft to it. Globalpost.com. We use Daily Chatter Global Post to report on foreign situations. They're good, and they're not biased. You ought to check them out. So they have an article today about ISIS reconstituting in the Middle East. In fact, their stat is ISIS is on track to double the number of attacks in Iraq and Syria this year, 24, compared with 23. That's under Biden. Now, I wrote a book, some of you have read it, I hope all of you will, called Killing the Killers, where we go in and show exactly how the Trump administration wiped ISIS off the face of the earth. Exactly how they did it. But Biden's president now, and ISIS is making a comeback. You should know. So read the article on Global Post, Daily Chatter, and then read Killing the Killers, and you'll get the big story. Smart Life. Got a pen and paper? I always say, watch this with a pen and paper. So most of the viewers and listeners on the radio of this program and BillO'Reilly.com premium members are very aware of what's going on around them. All right? They want information because information is power. And the more information you have, the better you can protect yourself and others. Very simple. If you wander around, you don't know what's going on, you don't have any power. You'll be manipulated, you'll be used, you'll be lied to. There is a website that you should know about. It's called influencewatch.org. Influencewatch, one word, .org. It profiles nonprofits, for-profits, labor unions, groups detailing their funding and political affiliations. You can go on his website and find out if the companies that you are dealing with are funding Kamala or Trump or whatever. It's a great resource. Once again, Smart Life, influencewatch.org. Senate passed a bill to protect the kids online. Now, I'm not exactly sure how this is going to all come down, but I'm happy that the bill passed 91-3 in the Senate. Now, it goes to the House. The House will pass it, but they'll modify it a little, and then it goes back, but it'll get passed. But right now, the bill is the Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA, okay, and the Children's Online Privacy Protection Action, COPA. Both, there's two of them. And it's basically putting pressure on social media companies to do certain things that protect the kids. It's all over the place, and I'm not going to analyze it until it comes in for a full vote. But it's a good thing. Yay, right? Federal government finally doing good things. You all know that due to cancel culture, Mike Lindell and MyPillow no longer have the support of their box stores or shopping channels. So they want to pass those savings directly to you. Thanks to their dedicated employees, MyPillow has hundreds of products, some you may not even know about. To spread the word, they are having a $25 extravaganza. For just $25 each, you can get 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, 6-pack towel sets, sandals, and more. For the first time, get premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, for just $25. This amazing offer will not last long. So please visit mypillow.com or call 1-800-869-0298. Use promo code BILL for free shipping on any order over $75 today. That's mypillow.com, code BILL. You work hard to support yourself and your family, but it may seem like you never take that next financial step forward. If the bills are higher than what you bring in, a credit card might be what's making up the difference for you. The problem is the debt keeps on growing. Well, if you own a home, my friends at American Financing can help you break that cycle. American Financing saves people like you an average of $854 a month. Even better, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. And if you call American Financing today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So start your journey towards being credit card debt-free. Please call 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. All right, here is the final thought of the day. I am so glad I was right about President Biden's not running again for 2 reasons. Number one, he can't govern. I love my country. I like the people who oppose me. Most of them. Some of them are haters. I don't like the haters. Okay? And you're on my list. But I like America. I like my fellow citizens. And I don't want a bad government. And Joe Biden could not run the government. And he did a horrible job. Second worst president, as we will prove in confronting the presidents. Second worst of all time. So I'm glad he's out. I'm glad I was right about the prediction. But the main thing is, oh, O'Reilly's always right, or O'Reilly's always smart, or right. No. I want to beat those bastards, and I'm sorry about the language, in the corporate media on television. I want to beat them. We're already doing it. We're already beating the lessers. Now we're gunning for the big boys, and we're not far behind. Massive amount of people now watching the No Spin News, checking out BillO'Reilly.com, reading our page on YouTube, signing up for my tweets at Bill O'Reilly. Millions and millions all over the world. As I mentioned, the Jon Stewart O'Reilly podcast, #1 on Apple. I don't even know what that is, but my son was jumping up and down, going, I am #1 on Apple. I said, what does that mean? Is that everything to do with Adam and Eve, Apple? I don't know. But our reach, and we're gunning for these corporate media because they're corrupt. They are misleading you on purpose. We will never do that here. That's why that whole Biden fiasco that I was the first national commentator to call it was so important. Thank you very much for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.